All right, good afternoon, everybody. It is 4:30, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Bobby, will you do the prayer for me? No, okay, works. So we're going to get started with the pledge and the prayer real quick, and then we're going to turn over the meeting to Shenandoah and let them do it. So, yeah.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Lord, we thank you for the opportunity we have in this country to gather as we do. Lord, we ask that you keep on our minds that we are here to serve the people of this county and do our best that we can for them. I thank you and praise you in your holy name. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, folks.
I don't think so. I think every one of them. All right. Well,
thank you for letting us present. Thank you for really leading up to that, we have a number of presentations, as well as the portfolio, and then we have to actually do the presentation. Practice for us, I think it as needed, find out where we need to hone in and continue to see. We ask that you ask questions. Prepare them for questions. I did. You don't know if they will be having that come out before the actual process. Time does it really memorize? It's usually a little bit of a long space, so they don't really change a lot of time. I content that you can memorize, they should be able to interact with the family, eating and interacting and what we ask. So that's roughly 11 minutes. Slow down and raise the question.
Good evening, everyone. We're the Johnsons. My name is Mara. This is my husband, Brendan, and my mom, Ray. And these are my kids, Jaden and Riley. And we are just getting ready to sit down and enjoy Sunday supper. Now, every Sunday, inevitably, an agriculture issue gets brought up, and inevitably, we argue about it. Now, we do apologize in advance for eating in front of you and arguing in front of you. But please enjoy a look into what our lives are like every single Sunday, and please pray for me in the process. Okay, before anybody starts arguing, can we just please have one normal dinner? Just one?
That depends. Are my college-educated grandchildren about to share their highly informed opinions again?
Mom, can we do without the drama tonight? Please.
Speaking of drama, you guys might want to see this.
Get it? If it's a TikTok, no, put it down.
No, Mom, it's actually important. It's about that company planning on putting in a massive data center near here. Look here in the paper. There's a whole article. Are hyperscale AI data centers the future of rural America or the downfall?
Really? Like a hyperscale AI data center?
Yeah, the Henry County Planning Commission has approved a rezoning plan that's going to bring a large data center to this county.
Excuse me? Oh, absolutely not.
Oh, lovely. Another genius idea from the younger generation. It's just what we need.
Oh yeah, because your older generation's point of view is so much better.
Okay, so clearly we're not gonna get a normal dinner, so let's just talk about this before your grandmother has a full-blown episode. So from what I've read on a market intel published by the American Farm Bureau, data centers store, process, and manage the digital systems that power modern businesses, communications, and agriculture. So I think the real thing we need to be discussing is it more harmful or helpful? Riley, I know you like the idea and you're probably one of the sanest people at this table. Why do you think it's helpful?
Okay, thank you. Finally, look, data centers are actually very beneficial for farmers. They use satellite for tracking crop health from space, soil sensors that tell you exactly what your field needs, drones that scan for diseases before you can even see them, and that all feeds into AI. The US Government Accountability Office reported that precision agriculture uses tools like sensors, GPS, and digital imaging to improve efficiency and reduce waste. It can help the farmers use fewer inputs more efficiently, reduce waste in fertilizer, water, and chemical use, improve yields while lowering production costs. And that's not just hype. The Accountability Office proves that precision agriculture can improve efficiency, reduce input costs, and lower environmental impact.
That part's actually true, and that's what makes me believe agriculture needs to support data centers. Data centers is what makes those advancements possible. Without them, all that data is harder to manage and use. As much as I hate to give Purdue credit, according to the Purdue University Center for Commercial Agriculture, technology helps farmers make those improvements in efficiency, reduce costs, and make better management decisions.
Jaden, no wonder you went to IU. Seriously, let's talk about what you guys are ignoring. What are those data centers actually going to cost the community? Because none of that comes for free. Data centers require significant amounts of electricity and water to operate and cool their systems. And that research came from the Environmental and Energy Study Institute. How is our local water plant and power grid supposed to handle that kind of strain?
Okay, will you quit being grumpy? We're trying to have a normal conversation tonight.
Yeah, I know, but all I'm saying is hyperscale data centers often require hundreds of megawatts of power and place serious pressure on local infrastructure. The Jones Lang organization released a whole study about it. Large hyperscale data centers can use millions of gallons of water per day for cooling. They can require enormous amounts of power at one time, and that can increase costs for local residents, and developers keep targeting prime farmland.
That's actually a fair concern.
Exactly. Listen, I'm not against technology or whatever it's called. I already use GPS on my equipment. I track weather patterns, and I've adapted to field mapping and computer records. But hyperscale data centers? The USDA Economic Research Service proved that once farmland is converted to industrial use, it is rarely returned to agricultural production. And I have to agree, American agriculture has spent generations improving efficiency and yields. And we did it without paving over
That's
farmland.
not a fair
Hey,
statement.
listen here, you little whippersnapper. I'm not done yet. What about jobs? That's something your generation couldn't understand.
Okay, hey, Mom, pump the hate brakes. He's your grandson.
Machines don't need breaks, have families, or need paychecks. That's my problem. This doesn't feel like progress. It feels like we're getting pushed out.
I get that. I really do. I've actually used this stuff. For example, last year I used an irrigation app and it saved me thousands of dollars. Less water, less nitrogen, same yield. That's not just theory. That's real. Now imagine that, but better, faster, and smarter. And data centers could bring more than just AI tools. A report from the Consumer Energy Alliance found that data centers could create skilled jobs, increase tax revenue, and improve infrastructure in rural communities. They could also support roads, schools, and utilities, and they could improve internet access too.
Honestly, a better internet wouldn't hurt anybody.
But should it be at the cost of our farms and our way of life?
Okay, moving on. Anything else about data centers?
Well, I mean, they take up land and lots of it, sometimes hundreds of acres. A stat from the Technology Target Organization observed that as of 2024, the scale of data center land transactions had increased by 144% compared to 2022, primarily driven by the need for hyperscale facilities that support massive AI workloads. And if they're powered by fossil fuels, we're making the environmental problems even worse, not better.
That's not always true anymore. According to the International Energy Agency, many newer facilities are adopting more water efficient and cooling systems and cleaner energy strategies. This means that more data centers are using renewable energy, and many are exploring recycled or non-potable water for cooling. And economically, property taxes fund the schools and communities grow.
And jobs, real jobs. The American Farm Bureau released an article stating that data centers create skilled positions in electrical work, maintenance, networking, and operations. That matters here. And not to mention all the jobs the construction process of these data centers have to offer.
A few temporary jobs do not replace farmland, and once that land is gone, it's gone. Why don't you understand that?
Okay, this conversation is taking years off my life, so let's just do a lightning round, okay? Quick answers and no arguing, please. Let's start with, tell me your biggest fears and your biggest hopes about data centers. Mom, you can start.
My fears, my farm turns into data instead of food. And my hopes, that real farmers still matter.
My fears, we damage the environment trying to fix it. My hopes, technology that actually respects the environment.
My fears, we miss out because we're afraid. My hopes, smarter farming that feeds more people sustainably.
My fears, the next generation leaves farming behind. My hopes, a future where farms are profitable and modern.
Okay, and if this data center does get built, hypothetically, what's one thing you would demand?
Farmers control their own data, period.
No building on prime farmland and strict limits on water use.
Affordable access, not just for big farms, for everyone.
Yearly public reports, water, energy, everything, no hiding it.
Okay, we'll do one final question and then we're gonna be done, okay? Done. AI data centers, are they helpful or harmful?
Helpful, no question about it. AI helps farmers with precision crop and soil management and predictive analytics and planning. That overall results in better yields.
And it's not replacing farming, it's helping them make better decisions. Besides, if we don't adapt, we're not protecting farming, we're letting it disappear. Even the Federal Communications Commission says rural areas continue to lag behind urban areas.
Okay, and those were pretty good points. Mom, Brendan, what about you?
Harmful, completely. Technology fails, systems glitch, signals drop, and when it does, farmers lose money, not the tech companies. And not to mention the environmental damage. With the amount of water and energy that those centers take up, the damage to our local aquifers and electric bills would be enormous.
And autonomous equipment reduces so many employment opportunities. And that doesn't just affect farms, it affects entire rural economies and communities. There's people and relationships that have made farming what it is today, not fancy machinery that basically promotes laziness, like my son.
All right, that's enough. And for the most part, they were good points and well stated. So essentially, AI can improve agriculture by helping it in efficiency, or it could harm agriculture environmentally. Okay, great. Now that we got that out of our systems, can we now enjoy our meal, please?
If that data thing touches my farm, I'll end up in jail.
I couldn't agree more.
Oh, please, you both would end up in a loony bin before you ended up in jail.
Hey, guys, enough. We're done. We're not going to solve this tonight, and especially at this dysfunctional dinner table. However, just to end this argument so we can actually make it to dessert, I will say this. Both sides have been pretty good arguments tonight. On one hand, AI and data centers could help farms become more efficient, profitable, and better prepared for the future. But on the other hand, those benefits don't come without concerns. For example, the strain it would have on local aquifers and energy plants. So maybe this isn't really about choosing one side or the other. Maybe it's about figuring out how to move forward without losing what matters most: our land, our independence, and our community. Because once farming is gone, we don't get a second chance at getting it back. Now, with that being said, can we please enjoy our dinner now?
Well, let's hope the dessert is actually good, because that dinner was questionable.
Okay, thank you guys so much for listening.
Repeat question. Would you like to see them potentially change?
Well, they did a really good job balancing the pros and cons, bringing up the key concerns and the key benefits.
Our last presentation mentioned that they seem to be picking a lot on the ground. So, like, that's not brought up, so like, so.
She handled herself.
I just, I don't know, we hadn't heard that before, so we were trying to figure out if we could approach that a different way, or.
I think she deserved it.
No, that's, I think was, I didn't see it picking on, I see family, you know, and you should be family. going after is a strong word, discussion, that back and forth of, would they typically normally disrespect the topic or that way, and so we all get in heated discussions, and I didn't think it any disrespectful or kickback.
What was that TV show that Tom Selleck? New York Cop, Blue Bloods, the Sunday Table. It kind of reminded me of some of the discussion they had around the Sunday Table. The kids were a little louder. Ray had been speaking.
That's what we're running into. The kid side is still much louder.
So,
I don't know what to do. I don't know what to make these two yell a little bit.
Ray got louder at the end.
I was back here yelling.
Grandma got louder.
I would say, double check your research, because 2024 to 2026 is a lifetime in the technology world. I think point you in some direction.
You'll not use your milk card by the time you get on
Yes,
stage,
yes,
right?
yeah, we're not.
We're done speaking it. We're not done yet. We still got some things.
I listened to your commissioners meeting, you used it last year when you did it, so you're improving. You'll be there by middle of June.
I thought they were very passionate.
Well, and that's what they're not supposed to.
They don't want us to fight. They don't want us to do like when they're ready to start a phase one way.
Very passionate.
What's the average number of workers that would bring in?
So on average, there's studies that it'll take about 15 to 20 maintenance workers to work on all the IT. Since as we all know, IT is not the most helpful in our ways. So there's average that'll be like 15 to 20 to be in the room, but there are also all the jobs to like build it. There's always the construction, the plumbing. So as those aren't like jobs that will stay, it's still a lot of jobs that will be offered.
An important question. Maybe you have Mrs. Gray as kindergarten.
Yeah.
Hopefully you will.
You mentioned prime farm ground. You don't necessarily have to answer it here, but how would you define prime farm ground? And who defines it? Is it the owner? Or is it local government? Is it Farm Bureau? Something to think about. Could be in the eye of the beholder.
And as far as questions, the only other one I would say is, again, technology has changed a great deal in that short period of time. And there is a lot of variety. We really focus on the water usage, but in like the data center here, I know that was a big focus. And we were sure that was not going to be. So that is something that has changed in many of these places. Because of the issues of the past, the president is now changing the. Keep that in mind with the technology that we can, address.
It is ever changing, technology doesn't. It changes daily. I've been in that for years, it changes daily. So, I know you guys have to snapshot of where it's at. I think it's kind of a good job. My whole thing is to choose it. You need to stop you, like talk to your dad, or with your dad, tapping you like you did, tapping, play with tapping. Today, I got to talk to your dad, get your volume up. I think you're just naturally a soft-spoken person, and when you think that you're loud, you're so soft. So you're probably gonna have to act like you're like really yelling angrily to get your voice up, because you appear to me to be just a naturally soft-spoken person. I don't know you, but it appears to be just me. So when you think you're talking loud, it's still not.
I think you did an excellent job.
Did a great job.
I think you did a good job.
Find that earring. We're good at like some points, your volume is good, but then you would just shift.
Okay. So, Mr. Murphy, might as well not sit down. You're up first on the agenda.
Good afternoon, council. I handed out some papers that I want to walk through. This is an update on behalf of the County Redevelopment Commission. I provided a similar update this morning at the commissioners meeting. This is along 400 South. And so the Redevelopment Commission is publishing and putting out into the marketplace an RFP for a new shell building, 30,000 square feet, expandable to 120,000 square feet. And this graphic here, in the yellow, it says 40 acres. That's where we envision this shell building to be built, up close to County Road 400 South. Advertisement will occur in the next couple weeks. Proposals are due to me on June 25th. We're using the procurement method, build, operate, transfer. It's the same procurement method that we used to build the shell building that was sold last year. Financing for this will come exclusively from the County Redevelopment Commission. So we're not asking the county government for a contribution. At this point in time, we're going to try to do this without bonding. That may change, but even then, the commission would need to vote to decide to go that route, which they haven't. And then ultimately it comes to this body and the commissioners to provide permission to do that. But our plan right now is to use existing resources on hand to do this new shell building. The shell building program has been extremely good in terms of having product in the marketplace. And I'm very thankful through your leadership and commissioners, the Redevelopment Commission, that we have the opportunity to consider this. Typically we do 50,000 square feet. We know we can't afford it. So that's why we went with 30,000 square feet. And we may not be able to afford that. We'll see. We won't know until we put the RFP out. And using the BOT, as I mentioned, the Redevelopment Commission will be making a decision the end of July, early August. So I wanted to make you aware of that. Continuing on east on County Road 400 South, you have this graphic, which shows 94 acres. The RDC recently acquired that after 2 or 3 years of litigation. And so now that we have ownership of that, we are moving through a due diligence process to make that property shovel ready and marketable. That includes eventually demolishing the structures on that property. So we have already done an asbestos containing material study of all the structures. That's important to inform how that gets demolished. But the last document in your packet is a notice of salvage opportunity. And so prior to just going straight to demolition on the 400 South and only the 400 South property, we're publishing notice to the world that we're interested in receiving salvage proposals. They're due to me on May 29th. 2 things are required in that. You give us a price and you provide proof of insurance. And then the winning bid, if we have a winning bid, they have 30 days to get it salvaged and you can't leave any trash behind. Once that happens and it's salvaged, then we'll move forward with the demolition of that property as well. But it was, there's some value there in terms of the barn, in terms of, you know, maybe some components of the house. And so instead of just going straight to a demolition, we're giving a salvage opportunity. But all of this, I should have said, all of the reason why we're, demolishing this is for business development. And so it's not, not a place for people to live, and they're vacant. And so we're moving forward in that light. There's going to be a lot of activity along 400, surveys, geotech. And so I've just taken this opportunity to, maybe your constituents will ask what's going on. I saw a truck out there, or I saw, people doing stakes or whatever. This is all an effort to move forward and be able to effectively market that property. Any questions on this, or maybe something I didn't touch on?
I'll only speak a little bit about the salvage. I'm kind of the one that spearheaded this and brought it out.
You are the one that spearheaded it.
Me and houses, I don't like to give up houses. It's a very nice home that's sitting right there on 400, but the barn on top of that is a very solid building. It's approximately 3,400 square feet, give or take. I didn't measure it. It's built like a Sherman tank. It's got decades of use left to it. So if someone could utilize it, I think it's worth throwing this out there to the community. And as Corey and I discussed, the RDC is not looking to make a ton of money. We're just trying to make an offering to the community. If someone can use the building and willing to take it down and do those things, then it's definitely worth something to look into. The house itself, I walked around into the house. It has some nice cedar trim, doors, things like that people may want to salvage and use in a project or in their own homes. So I think it's worth a try anyway, instead of just bulldozing it down and throwing it in a dump. So
It is.
it is. It sits right on 400, all kind of across from TS Tech's. Yep. Right there. It's just right there. That first house just to the right is when you pass Boar's Head. So Corey, I appreciate your time on this. You had one other thing you wanted to mention to us?
Yeah, later on in your meeting, there is some paperwork regarding abatements, and I wanted to speak specifically to the paperwork filed on behalf of Draper. And I've been in communication with the Draper Chief Financial Officer and their outside consultant. And based on that conversation, my recommendation to the council is to table it, refer it to your tax abatement committee, and have the tax abatement committee sit down with myself and representatives from Draper to review it, and then come back at a future county council meeting with a recommendation.
So we have two forms on here from Draper. So you would recommend we table both of those?
Two
And
forms, meaning one for
Two-
real and
yeah.
one for personal property?
Well, there's real estate and yeah.
Yes.
Is it?
Yeah, well, we have two different line items in here. Is there two different abatements that we need to
There was a
discuss?
real and there is a personal
So
property.
we have two different abatements we need to discuss, so. And the abatement committee is myself, Shannon, and Mike. So,
Can I make that motion now?
yes, sir, go right ahead.
I move to table the drape.
Wait a minute, I'm lost at where we're at. Let me catch up.
Yeah.
You're fine.
Because I gotta get my paperwork, because it's.
Okay.
Where I'm at, yes.
Okay.
So we're on all the Draper stuff.
Yeah, so
Two Draper.
there's two Drapers.
There should be a real and a personal property.
Real and a person.
Yeah. And Debbie, the recommendation,
Real and the personable, yeah, there.
the recommendation was to table this and refer it to the tax abatement committee. And then come back at a future meeting with a recommendation. And I think that future meeting probably ought to be your June meeting.
Good to go?
Okay, now go back, sorry, you got out of line and I wasn't, okay, so you made the motion?
Yeah, I'll move to accept Corey's recommendation to table both of them, refer it to the abatement committee and bring it back in June.
Okay, a motion and a second. Any further discussion to table the Draper abatements? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. So Corey, if you'll reach out to me and I will reach out to the team, my counterparts on the committee, and then we'll hope to bring this back in June so we can get something scheduled.
Sounds great.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Corey, since you're in front of the blue box, do you have anything to say about the other abatement paperwork that we've received from all the other ones?
I have not had an opportunity to review those.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, just a point of order. We did not pass the minutes.
Oh, we did not. We jumped right in.
Motion to approve the minutes was presented.
I have a motion to have a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Thanks, Kenan. I jumped right into the Shenandoah folks and we jumped right over that, so. All right, so we'll move on to Martha with Moreland Fire Department.
Thank you for allowing me to talk. My name is Martha Beal, and I'm here to represent Moreland Fire Department. We have no fire department right now. It has been demolished. We are in the process of building a brand new one. Hopefully, the end of July, we should be back in it. So it's a quick turnaround. One of the things that we have been discussing, and this wasn't just brought up with the demolishing of the fire department, was getting an emergency shelter or something in that area of the county. Right now, there is nothing. And we're talking like an emergency shelter, whether it's warm weather, cold weather. Heaven forbid we have a disaster, we could use the new fire department as that. So in the process, we are looking at a generator to sustain that building. Right now, all of our funds are going towards the fire station. So we are limited on where we can come up with some money. So they sent me to ask you guys if there's any funds out there for a generator. We're looking at, the lowest bid is 9,800 up to 20,000. We're thinking more in the 9,800 range. We didn't know if it was anything up here, to help us out.
So when Martha reached out to me originally, it was for a couple other things, and we were talking food. She was inquiring about food and beverage. So I know I sent Joel's response on that to everyone. Food and beverage is more in line with recreation, community growth, and safety and this kind of thing doesn't necessarily fall into that category. So I'm not sure that those funds would be acceptable even for this unless Joel thinks this is a pivot from the other.
Yeah, I mean, that's the general intent of the statute seems to be for tourism and economic development.
Yes.
It does list for permissible uses other projects, so I suppose you can argue this would fall within the other projects, but I think the overall intent is for tourism and economic development type expenditures.
I know we've been very diligent in our usage of food and beverage funds, even been noticeable at the State House that we've been very cautious in the way we use our funds. So I think we can, this has been a very powerful tool for us. So making sure we continue to be very diligent in the way we utilize those funds is probably extremely important. Yes, Kenan.
No, I'm just telling, can I turn your mic on?
Your mic's not on, Kenan. Thanks, Bobby. You're welcome.
Have you approached the EMA and the health department?
This just come up about a week and a half ago for me to come to you guys, so we're still trying to get avenues.
They both deal with federal and state grants. They may or may not be able to assist. I know the health department's had some funds cut back, but that might be something that you could at least broach with them. It seems legitimate that those both would be, especially the emergency management with a generator. On an emergency shelter, that may be their bailiwick.
Well, we're trying to use this new station as multi-purpose, and like I said, there's nothing up there in that end of the county to, whether it's a tornado, or heaven forbid, we got multiple people put out by a fire or something, we're wanting to multiple use up there.
And Troy Jester, that is really in his department. He's really good at working with people wanting to do those kinds of things. I would really reach out to him, and he's over EMA, emergency management. At least discuss it with him. He probably has some recommendations for you.
Okay.
And I'll just dovetail on Kenan's with the public health. They do have a committee set up, and I will not say that this could be used with opioid funding.
Not for generating, is that what she got?
Mm-hmm. Okay, well then never mind. I won't have you do that.
So yeah, I mean, at this point, I mean, does anyone have any other questions? Jay, go right ahead, sir.
Not a question, but just a comment. I know I'm a member of Prairie Township Fire Department, and I know they recently replaced their generator, and I'm not aware that there were any issues with the old one, and it's sitting in the parking lot. I was waiting on somebody to come and get it.
Okay.
So that may be available. Like I said, I don't know if there were any issues with it. I'm not aware of any.
Well,
But-
like that.
I mean, this is, we're trying, we're willing to work with anything we can, if we can get something.
Any other comments, questions, or actions? I appreciate you coming. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Shannon, traffic safety grant, and Matt told me he is in a meeting, but if you desperately need him, call him.
Yeah, we won't call him unless we have to, but if we need to, we will.
Who's on?
This is a traffic safety grant that we apply for every year in conjunction with the city of Newcastle. 3 years ago, I believe, we made the change from $50 an hour to $60 an hour is the wage. And that was basically due to increases in salaries. And none of this costs taxpayers in Henry County anything out of our budget. This is paid for out of that grant. With the wage increases that the city and the county has seen over the last few years, the city approved putting $70 per hour into the grant application. And the ask of us is for them to for us to okay the $70 an hour number. The grant was actually applied for with $70 an hour pending approval from county council. So I will say that these are usually hours that are in addition to overtime hours that are paid by us. And the grant application asks that you consider double time being the basis. So that's the ask, is to approve going from $60 an hour to $70 an hour in the grant application.
Need a motion?
Yeah.
I'd make a motion to do so, given the explanation.
I'd second.
So we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. All right, next up, we have Jody, who has sent over a request to transfer $10,000 from computer software to assessing consultant.
I make a motion to approve.
So a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Next up is the additional appropriation for rainy day. This is what we've discussed in the past couple meetings, and we just need to take official action on it here. Debbie, this is on the agenda twice. Do we have we need to,
Two different ones. One of them is transferring from general fund to rainy day.
and the other is the appropriation. I got it. They're just backwards. We're appropriating, then transferring. Okay, got it. So we have two items on here. The first one is the appropriation, the second one's the transfer. So let's handle the transfer first, so we have the money before we spend it.
I'll move to approve.
Got a motion, do I hear a second?
Second.
All right, a motion and a second. Any discussion on this? I know we've discussed it in our past several meetings, but. Okay, hearing none. All those in favor of appropriating the monies to the rainy day fund signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Next, now we need to do the additional appropriation for those funds. Do I hear action on this?
Make a motion to approve.
So Bobby made a motion. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
We got a second from Shannon. Any further discussion? Nope. All right. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. So, all right. Hopefully that gives you guys some ammo to go out and start working on some of these things. I know there's some lots, you guys have got a lot on your plate, so. Appreciate your patience. Hopefully this will get you somewhere and gets things started, so. Thank you. All right, next we need to deal with these abatements. Debbie sent them out, hopefully last week. Hopefully everyone had a chance to review them. I will say that I reviewed them and I don't have any questions on the ones that remain on the agenda. Let me say that. We have some very good community partners here. The Boar's Head Project has done a phenomenal job. I mean, the numbers I just saw there are over 1,000 employees now. So it's quite impressive considering where we started. Just seems like a very short time ago.
I'll point out that one of the Boar's Head ones, of course, the first thing you look at is, did they meet their job requirements, right? And the answer to that question was no, they did not. But they did provide an explanation further in that application. And if you look at the salaries for those jobs, they estimated 90 jobs for a total of $1.26 million in salaries. They actually ended at 77 jobs with $4.7 million in salaries. So salaries paying well-paid jobs far above what they estimated. So I have no concerns with approving tax abatement for Boar's Head.
Do you want to do the Frank
Yeah,
Bronkhorst first?
that's the
Yeah,
one
so-
we're talking about.
I would make a,
Yeah, that
I
is.
would make a
Boar's Head.
motion to approve the one that's listed under Frank Bronkhorst.
Do we need to do these individually, Debbie, or do we want to, can we take them as a?
You could do them all at one, I think.
Okay. I'll leave that up to the person making the motion.
I'll make I'll amend my motion and in addition to Frank Bronkhorst, the other two that are listed under Boar's Head Provisions Company Incorporated, which would be a
There's
total of
actually
three.
three total, Kenan.
Yes, three.
Three total, well, three plus Frank, according to our agenda.
Oh, yeah, that's after the second. I'll make a motion for all
Okay,
four of those.
so I have a motion to approve all the Boar's Head related abatements. Do I hear a second?
Second.
A motion and second. Any further discussion or questions on these? All right, hearing none, all the in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. All right, so that jumps us down to the must and lit advisory. Shannon, I'm gonna let you jump in there because you're the one that's been talking about this one.
Sure. This is the Municipality Unit Strategic. Dang, I knew I'd forget it. Task Force, thank you. This was a opportunity written into law in last session. The State House basically said, we know we need to make changes to lit structures. We know we have municipalities and counties and towns all not working together and arguing. They want us to work together to develop what we think in our county makes sense and provide it as a report to the legislature. We have a proposal from Baker Tilly to kind of facilitate that effort. And it's $30,000. And it includes a representative from the county council as well as representatives from the city of Newcastle and the other towns. And they will work with us to try to herd the cats, so to speak. They will do all the financial analysis. They will do the report and they will help us provide the information to the State House. You guys know I've spent a lot of time with the income tax stuff. I would like to see us move forward with this. I had a conversation with City Council Representative Rex Peckinpah and asked that if we join forces with them, would they consider paying half of this bill? And so my recommendation and my thought is that I would like to see us move forward with this. I will make the motion to move forward with this conditional on the city council agreeing to pay for half.
Well, that was a motion.
That was a motion.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second.
Well, no. So we're gonna do a task force to tell the state what makes sense, define what makes sense.
that's what we need to work out with all of us.
I understand that, but it'd be like me saying, I'm not against this. I'm just wanting a little,
I don't think anybody knows what makes sense
Just-
yet.
yeah.
That's
Yeah,
why they have
exactly.
Set this task force up, because nobody actually knows what's happened just yet. So that's why they've set this task force up, so you guys can work together and the state can change their mind about once a month after you make your mind.
Yeah, and that's my concern is that no matter what comes out of this,
The state's
how,
gonna do
how
what
much.
they're-
The state may
influence
do
is-
what they want to do anyway,
And-
yes, but they're asking for input from us and
And
yeah.
the only other concern I have is I know that Baker Tilly must walk a very fine line
Right.
because they represent us and the municipalities. And as we all know, we were kind of pitted against each other in this latest
Mhm.
legislation that they just tabled basically and kicked the can on. Because we're arm wrestling over the 1.2. So, you know, and that's where I think relying on was Jamie and the AIC, because they're going to be the ones that have more, they will definitely have our back because they're our representatives from our level. Whereas AIM is the representatives from the city level. And we're kind of pitted against each other. So that's my only other concern with Baker Tilly doing the report. They're gonna be walking a very fine line because we're still
do
going to arm
both.
wrestle over both. Because at this point, looking at DeVore's analysis, you know, we're going to need almost every bit of that 1.2. I mean, I believe his number was 1.06 for Henry County, just to be level of where we are right now, revenue. To be revenue neutral, we needed 1.06 of the 1.2 just to remain revenue neutral. So it's not, I mean, I know that the original request from AIM was, I think it was to give up half, wasn't it? 0.6, put us down to 0.6. If we did that, we would lose a significant amount of money.
That's 1.06 for 2025 numbers. This won't go into effect until 2029. We're gonna have issues between now and then, but I completely agree with you and see your point. And the state
numbers
is,
could be even worse in 2029.
that's-
exactly, absolutely. By 2029, we may need way more than the 1.06.
Yeah.
And the state's asking us to provide them with the information.
Very well.
I feel that it makes sense. We do not have to
Maybe
hire
not
Baker
here, but
Tilly to
here.
do this. But I don't know that we have anybody that can herd the cats and
Oh,
do the analysis.
I
and-
agree. We can't herd the cats, but it's, you know, hey, let's put together a task force to tell the state what makes sense.
Right.
Well,
Well, what makes sense for Henry County? That's what they want for us.
correct. What
Yeah.
makes sense for Henry County?
But it's saying that Baker Tilly also represents dozens of counties across the
Right.
state.
Sure.
And what's good for Henry County is not the same as what's good for Hancock County or Hamilton County
Right,
or,
and that's, and the state tries to do, and I'm not against doing this. I'm just saying that the state tries to do a one size fits all anyway.
Right.
So.
we've
it's a
all
little-
heard
it's
Chad's
just a little
Walmart
muddy.
pants
Well,
story.
it's a lot muddy.
Yeah.
And you're right, Debbie. The state will change their mind a month after we do it and say, we don't need your numbers. This is what you're gonna do anyway.
I suspect this will be modified during this upcoming long session.
That is the indication I have gotten from the legislators I have spoken to, that they are willing to take this up. They did not, there was some discussion of taking it up this session, but they all ran scared. All they did was kick the can and decide, hey, we're going to push it back a whole nother year. And that was the only decision that was made on this, was doing that.
They didn't
So-
want to mess with the budget at all in the short.
So,
So is this something we have to decide on right away? Because I do see that there are upcoming discussions on some of this, on the lit reform and the must guidance through AIC.
The AIC is going to recommend.
You do it?
To hire a
Okay.
financial advisor to help.
Okay.
Oh.
I was just wondering if we could learn more about it
Yeah.
before pulling that.
You've got a motion and a second and
we do have a motion in a second. We're in
And
the
I'm going to
discussion.
have to leave in 2 minutes, so.
All right, so. All right, we have a motion in a second. I guess, is there any further discussion? So so the motion was to accept this engagement with the caveat that Newcastle would split the bill. And 1515, do you have a recommendation on where we pay this from? reclassification or
Out of our council reclassification.
a council reclassification.
Seconded it.
And Ken in second, do we have any further discussion before I call for a vote? All right, hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion any noes? I think I heard everybody. Our motion carries unanimously, so we will adopt this and then, I guess we need to send this over to the city council, Debbie, in this vote and let them take it up and then we'll go from there. Thank you. All right, next on the agenda is a couple transfers. All right, we're awake now, so, all right, we have some transfers from the prosecutor's office. We've got $9,800 from pretrial to pretrial diversion and $650 from pretrial to pretrial diversion. Sure why they,
It's from pretrial diversion miscellaneous to part-time and to social security. Yeah.
It's from diversion part-time.
Okay.
To part-time.
From miscellaneous to part-time and from miscellaneous to social security.
Yeah,
okay, yeah, we got it there. There you go.
so
All right.
moved.
We got a motion or a second?
Second.
All right, any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. All right, next, we had on our sheet here to have a discussion, talk about the deductibles. So Commissioner Dellinger, myself met with Josh Estel with McGowan Insurance Group to discuss what we need to set aside for the upcoming deductible funds that we're going to have to create with the new insurance that we have currently right now. We're going to have to set aside monies for deductibles that we haven't had to do before because the deductibles have increased exponentially. So I sent everybody this email, gosh, a little over a month ago now, after Steve and I met with Josh. So what the next steps is we will have to advertise this and then go for there. So Debbie, if we advertise with these numbers, can we alter with these numbers? Can we alter it? We can lower it, not increase it. That's what I thought. So I know one of the council members has requested to Josh to come to our meeting. So we'll ask him to come to the next one. I guess we need an idea of if this body is willing to advertise at the original numbers. Feel comfortable with that? I mean, Josh felt fairly confident. It was a conservative estimate, but what he felt like was a realistic estimate. I guess at the end of the day, if the number, we don't know, it's a crystal ball. I mean, Scott, you're in insurance. You can speak to this better than anybody else here can. And you understand this is a crystal ball. This is what Josh's best guess is based on our historical data. And there's a distinct possibility that we may have to go back and change this, or there's a distinct possibility that we won't need this much and it stays in that reverting fund. Because the way these will be set up will be very similar to our health insurance fund, where these monies will stay in this fund and we won't, we use them until we need more. I mean, well, I guess I'm the only one left, Kenan left, that walked into the fund at $750,000 in the red when Chad took office back in 2019. So it's possible that could happen as well. Let's pray it doesn't. So I can go through these numbers. I'll list them up real quickly. The sheriff's department, he recommended auto at 100,000 and liability at 250,000. Commissioners auto at 50,000, liability at 50,000. The park auto at 10,000, liability at 5,000. Community corrections auto and liability at 5,000. The highway auto at 50,000 and the liability at 5,000. The health department auto at 5,000 and liability at 5,000.
So EMS is not on here.
EMS is not on here. So, that is, well, I guess that brings the question we need to ask if we want to set aside an additional fund or put them under the commissioner's fund. Because I know that they don't have, we separated them by tax rates and they,
Sure. Right.
so that's
They
the way we,
generate their own income.
yeah.
That's why I was just questioning just to make sure we
So,
didn't.
I
we
mean,
didn't
I
forget
guess that's a good discussion. Since they really,
Line under the commissioner's for
Mhm.
EMS.
Yeah, because I think they're technically under right now. The rest of it is all under the commissioners. So I think that was the initial thought, but I'm open to the discussion if you think it'd be better to split it.
I just wanted to make sure that they weren't forgotten about in 3 months down the road.
The only exception we made was the sheriff, just because
right.
we've got, the bulk of the claims have come from this department. That's why we split that one up, to be able to manage it and audit it more closely.
Not a problem.
What is everybody's thoughts?
Do we want to, well, my thought is, do we want to table this until Josh is here?
Well, we can table it, but then we'll have to push it down even 2 more months. And
So
that's
do you
my
want
only
to
concern, because I,
So I'll make the motion to go ahead and advertise for the dollar figure and then
at these
Josh can-
rates,
At these rates, and then Josh can, because we may not use them, we may use them all, we'd have to do additional appropriation anyway. So I'll make the motion at these rates, to advertise these rates.
yeah, because that is the beauty of it. At the end of the day, we don't know, and we may have to do an additional
Right.
anyway down the road. But at least if we advertise it now, I know that Debbie's got claims that are going to come due very, very soon, if not already. And so,
Had one this morning.
yeah, so we've got to start putting these monies in play for the auditor's office is my only concern with tabling it.
Oh, absolutely. They're paying that out of the insurance fund that came from,
Well, I don't know.
Oh.
I don't want to do that yet. I know that's what
I
the
thought that-
commissioners made a motion,
oh, okay.
but I don't make sure money not spent.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and for those who didn't know that, or didn't watch the commissioners meeting, the health insurance is going up as well. So
Yeah, I want to talk about that afterwards.
we can talk
We
about.
made a motion.
Yeah, all right. So Bobby made a motion to advertise for the accounts at this level. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, motion carries 6-0. All right,
So while we're in the
yeah, go for it, Shannon.
discussion of additional appropriations, my understanding was the deductibles from a few months ago, we were gonna have to come up with another $200,000 roughly. And then we heard this morning through the commissioners meeting that deductibles for health insurance.
You talking about premiums?
Premiums.
I'm sorry,
I was gonna say-
premiums, my apologies. We had
Sorry to interrupt.
deductibles on the paper in front of me and that's all we were talking about. But yes, premiums, an additional 200,000 in premiums for liability insurance and 300,000 for medical insurance. Should we consider doing an additional appropriation now, or do we need to wait? Because isn't that first part of that going to come due in June or July?
Well, I think Debbie's still running through the numbers as far as the insurance.
We can run it in a retro.
Okay, so it can go negative.
Because we still have other insurance.
And-
that come up due.
Yeah.
So I would rather wait a little bit and have an exact amount than have to keep going back for this.
Completely agree. Understood. Thank you.
And then for the, my opinion on the health insurance is we have a very healthy reserve.
Exactly.
You
in
can
that
draw
one.
it down.
We could draw
Absolutely.
it down slightly and then readjust in our budget session this year
And,
that we'll have
and
coming up.
i-
Go
if
ahead.
you listen to Josh, it's just, he believes it's just going to be a 1 year. Because
Yeah, based on the
it's very,
decision that they
it's
made
very
this morning.
specific. I don't want to get into somebody's health issues, but it's a very specific claim. And he believes that it would just be potentially a 1 year hit, that it could potentially go back down.
And we've worked hard to build that.
Yeah,
fund
oh
up.
yeah,
I
it's
hate to
gotta,
see it
you
drain.
know, there was a lot of changes made over the last 3 years, 4 years when I was a commissioner to get the lasers, to get the caps, to get the things that would allow us to prevent some of these large bills from taking place and increases taking place. So,
Completely agree. And I think the commissioners made the right call this morning.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah, being self-insured, it's all, again, the crystal ball. We've, the same discussion we had on the other auto and liability deductibles. Okay. Bobby.
Keep the microphone. No, I said I should have kept the
Oh,
microphone. Okay, so I asked Debbie to add this Safe Streets for All discussion. I don't know how many people watched the commissioners meeting, I think it was the last commissioners meeting of April. Mayor Pavey and his right-hand man Kyle Gardner were here to discuss the $50,000 invoice that the county has received for this Safe Streets for All planning grant that they did. I need to give some history as to how all this happened. Nothing ever was approved by the county. So in 2024, and I believe Kenan also sat on that committee for a short period of time. I was contacted, and I believe Kenan was as well. I'm sorry that he's not here to confirm, but I'm almost positive, to be part of a committee to look at this safe streets. Sure, I'll help a neighbor. So we met and discussed. They presented different things. And I guess their position was that we were going to help fund the 20% that was going to be for this grant. That's what they thought. Nothing ever went to I did not take anything to the commissioners, nor did we bring anything to the council, or did we enter into any interlocal agreement between the city of Rushville or Rush County with Henry County to participate financially or otherwise. This thing moved forward. Was it the beginning of this year, Debbie, they sent the invoice? Out of the blue, an invoice came for $50,000, which was supposed to be our portion of it. Of course, Steve wasn't going to pay it. When I stepped out of the commissioner's office, Joe Wiley took my place on that committee. Again, we thought we were just being good community partners, helping them do something that they needed to do, because the project that they're going for, I believe, is either a bypass of 3 around Rushville, or making 4 lanes through from Spiceland all the way down to 74, which NDOT's not going to do either one of those, but okay. So they came to present to the commissioner saying, hey, you need to pay this invoice, and why? And I've already talked to Joel. If I was on that steering committee, which I was, and I stood up and said, I'll pay the whole $200,000. I'm one person. I can't commit the county to do it, which I did not commit the county to any money. And there are no agreements. So the commissioners at the last meeting, it was kind of a convoluted motion. They voted to not do it, but send to the council to see if the council would be willing to pay the $50,000 if they wanted to do it. I think that was, I'm sorry, I thought they were asking a question. So that's why it is before us to discuss. I will say it did not go before the commissioners to approve to be official participants in this planning grant. And it didn't come to the council because it would have had to come to the council to figure out where the money was. So that's why it is before us to, it's a little weird. Did I say that right, how that motion went? They made the motion to bring it to the council to see if we would be so inclined to pay it, for them to decide if they want to participate. I don't.
Said they didn't want to participate, but sent it to the council if the council wanted to participate.
Is that, yeah. I mean, is that how it was? To send it to the council? I know it was just a little,
That's how it
it
was.
was how it was.
They
Yeah.
didn't want to do it, but you guys could do it.
The vote was 2-1, I do that.
Yeah, Steve didn't want to send it to the council. Because I know, Jay, you're looking at me, it is so convoluted. But Safe Streets at Home is a planning grant that the city of Rushville, other counties have agreed to participate and have paid. The city of Newcastle said, we're not paying anything. They got an invoice and they said, no, we're not paying anything. And the commissioners did not, and in 2024, agree to be a part of this at all. Or nor have they since, but there's a $50,000 invoice. The mayor did say that he wasn't aware that I believe he said that he was not aware that he needed to enter into interlocal agreement with the county to move forward on this, if I remember correctly. But I'm going to make the motion to deny paying $50,000 because the commissioners don't want to participate.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion on this?
It's confusing.
I'll only add that on its head is the reason I will say, I will make my vote. Beyond that, we also have discussed all the other things we have funds to spend on, and I don't even have enough data on this to even approve, let alone spend $50,000.
Well, I don't even feel like it's in our purview. Isn't that a commissioner decision?
That's, yeah, it's,
Ultimately, whether to participate is the commissioner's decision. I mean, you guys could certainly say, we want you to participate and we're willing to set aside $50,000 or whatever
No.
dollar figure it would be, but ultimately they'd have to decide it.
But they did not vote to participate and ask us where we could find the money from. If it was, they didn't ask for an additional appropriation to pay for it or anything like that. It was
No.
kick it to the council. So
Yeah, if the council says they want to do it, then we'll reconsider it. But
Right.
yeah.
all right. So we have a motion and a second to deny. Any other questions or discussion? All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0. Okay, the only other thing I have on the agenda is, and this has not come to our email yet, but it is out there that the Indiana State Board of Accounts has our state called meeting for the county council. It is on June 13th, Saturday, June 13th. They do have a reception, like a welcome reception the night before on June 12th, if you're so inclined to go over that night before. I strongly recommend everybody really try to make it because they give a lot of very detailed information. Debbie, can everybody reach out to you to register? Okay, so Ken and I know has already signed up. I haven't signed up yet, but if you want to go ahead and put me on that list and I will only go for Saturday. I was just planning to drive up. If y'all want to get together and carpool or something, holler, we can figure that out. But, I do recommend that we all try to make it if we can, because I know they're going to talk a lot about the slit, must, all of those things it's going to be a big portion of this meeting. So strongly recommend we try to make it if we can, if you have availability as such. Any additional things from the council perspective?
It's not from the council perspective, but it's from Habitat.
Oh.
I will, and I probably won't be able to find the email, so never mind.
Debbie, will you please sign me up too?
Okay. Any other council members have anything else to add? You got it?
Yes.
All right. There you are.
So we've been asked to, I now sit on the Habitat Board, and we've just been asked to publicize that there's going to be a first-time home buyer education. There's a series, I will share this on Facebook as well, June 3rd, 10th, 17th, and 24th, to help first-time home buyers. So I told them that I would announce it at our meeting, and then I will share it onto Facebook for any first-time home buyers. That's it.
All right, I'm only going to add one more thing, and I mentioned this on the meeting that I actually zoomed in. So I think at next meeting, I'd like to have an overall discussion on food and beverage and just what our plans are, how we would like to handle these requests and things going forward. Because I think we've done some one-off things, we've done some committee things. I think it just would behoove us to put it out there how we would like to handle these things in the future. So if everybody could think about that over the next month and then come back prepared to discuss what your thoughts are and share with the team on how you think we should handle the food and beverage. I know that as it currently sits, we have very little, if any, in the food and beverage fund available. So, keep that in mind. It's not like we're going to have millions of dollars sitting there to have the committee meeting immediately, but I think if we just be honest and be upfront with people and so that they understand, it's not that we don't want to help everybody. I'd love to give everybody everything they want, but it's just not fiscally possible, unfortunately, in the position we're in. So that's the only other thing I'll mention. Anybody else have anything? The masses out here in the crowd, anyone have anything? Lisa, Braden, you guys got anything to add? I'll take a motion to adjourn. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. Appreciate it.